Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Beau Oliver, joined here today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy for his first review of the season. And we are back to talk about The Mandalorian, Season 2, Chapter 11, The Heiress. But we're also going to give our thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 2 as a whole, because Teddy, like I said, hasn't been on any of the reviews. You were very responsible. You were exposed to COVID-19.
I shut it down, man.
Yeah, you shut it. You really did. Ted Incorporated sent all the employees home.
Yeah.
Now
I feel like you guys thought that maybe I wasn't taking this serious, and I would have just came here and infected all of you.
You would have if Beau didn't tell you not to. Well, Mando's been tough for us recently because not only did Ted get COVID, you have a herniated disc.
Yeah, herniated disc in my back.
You can't animate, and Disney doesn't copyrights all our fucking videos, so we have to do stills. So.
To be fair, I guess these episodes are so short that, like, we can't even let you guys use this.
I honestly love how short they are.
Next week, it's going to be 10 minutes. It's like, what are we going to do? We can't use those clips. It's nice. I guess it worked for this week because it was kind of, I guess it was another filler episode. It is bringing him closer to finding the Jedi.
It was a filler that pushed the story forward, which made this episode a lot better than what it was going to be if they didn't put in Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Although Bo-Katan would be also dope.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Right, yeah. No, we had Katie Sackhoff, the voice of Bo-Katan from the Clone Wars and the Rebel series.
You sure there's no A in that?
Yeah, no, I think it's just Katan. Bo-Katan Kryze.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was, and the title of the episode is referencing her, the Heiress, because she would be the next in line to the throne of Mandalore. Because her sister.
Give us a quick little, I mean, I've never watched the Clone Wars, but I've watched enough, like, on YouTube and whatnot to kind of piece things together, but I feel like this was a big episode for, like, Clone Wars hardcore fans.
During the Clone Wars, she was part of a group called Death Watch, which was a more militant group of Mandalorians. And her sister, I'm forgetting her name, she was Obi-Wan Kenobi's girlfriend. She was a pacifist. And
such a fucking hypocrite, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
For real, man.
She was a pacifist, so she kept Mandalore out of the Clone Wars. And, of course, Death Watch wanted them to fight against the Separatists. But then Death Watch was taken over by Darth Maul. So then she separated from Death Watch and formed her own group, the Night Owls, or she joined the Night Owls to fight against Darth Maul after Darth Maul took over Mandalore. And in the Rebel series, Rebels I haven't seen, she eventually does come to wield Darksaber. And then we see in this episode she's trying to find Darksaber, and you would think that's almost like the Valyrian steel sword of House Targaryen. Whoever has it, that's the true ruler.
Blackfire,
right? Yeah.
So did Mandalore know who Bo-Katan was?
It's been a couple months.
You put that in the trash?
Yeah.
The trash?
I had to empty all the Game of Thrones knowledge. It was just taking up too much space.
That's SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, really. He forgot the sword names.
Does Mandalore know who Bo-Katan is? Mandalore. Does the Mando know who Bo-Katan is?
No. He has no idea.
You would think that he would, though.
No. He wouldn't, because he was raised in, like, this cult. The Death Watch, it's like a separate thing. It's a cult.
He's an old head, man.
Yeah. He was raised by, like, basically just a faction of the militant Mandalores that just wanted to take it way back.
I love that Mando as a Uncle Drew. This guy is not taking his helmet off. It's not happening.
Yeah, no, he was disgusted.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the Mandalorians. Oh, what?
This again?
Yeah. My eyes. She's a very attractive woman. Well, they did, that armor that she was wearing is designed to look like the armor she has in the animated series. Which was cool. I guess.
Fresh.
Is this the first instance of this, or did we already get this?
What?
With an animated character appearing in a live-action version of themselves. Because, I mean, when you watch those animated shows, they're canon.
Mm-hmm.
These are what the characters went through. So, animated or live-action, it's cool that they brought her back, though, to bring back the voice actress.
Well, I like that, the different, like, factions of the Mandalorians. That's kind of cool, because you would assume, like Din Djarin does, that every Mandalorian does it our way. This is the way, right? That's what they told me. But it seems that different factions have different beliefs and different rules and regulations and guidelines, etc. So I think it adds a little bit more to the lore of just Mandalorians. And
yeah, it was nice to see him finally get some backup.
Right?
It's not always
some real backup?
Yeah. And that was a tense moment, when that creature ate Baby Yoda in the floating pod.
Fucking punted him in there.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah, they bopped him. It's nice to see him with, he's going through the same thing as Baby Yoda, just trying to find people that are part of his creed, part of his clan. And it is interesting for people that don't have any knowledge of Star Wars besides the movies to watch this and get this twist that this guy is following this cultish old religion that tried to take over Mandalore in a very aggressive and militant way. And, how that kind of shocks and changes his perception of the world and his perception of what it means to be a Mandalore. There's that great moment near the end of the episode when she's trying to get him to go along with the plan, and she hits him with the "this is the way."
Yeah.
So what are you going to say to that, huh? I said the thing. You have to respond. So, and they go forth and they take down that ship. But yeah, it was a nice little insight into the Mandalorian history.
I feel like even if people didn't really know too much about the deeper lore of the different Mandalorian factions or what all the happenings on Mandalore, I think it's just cool, like, in general, to see other Mandalorians fight with Mando. It's just, even if you can't, like, pick up all the different Easter eggs and references, I think it still was an episode that you can follow around and just have some fun with. I mean, you have, 4 Mandalorians fighting a bunch of stormtroopers? That's cool as hell.
Yeah, and they even mentioned that the stormtroopers are terrible shots.
Yeah.
So the Mandalorians just run up and absolutely destroy them. And they were very robotic in their movements. You could tell that they were all in sync with each other. They just knew how to operate as a team right away, which was also cool to see.
One thing I love about this show is that when they do introduce new characters that have a deeper meaning to Star Wars, they give them the backstory during the show. So people who aren't in tune with Star Wars lore and canons, you get that backstory on them, so you're not really trying to figure out who these guys are. You're not left out in dry.
Yeah, no, it's not confusing at all.
Yeah,
because it's all new it can just be new to the viewer.
Great writing.
Yeah, it's not like, wait, where did these characters come from? This doesn't make any sense. No, we've seen Mando interact with other Mandalorians, but these are a little different. They take off the helmet. And I think they're setting up, which will be cool when Pedro Pascal gets to just show off his face eventually, where he doesn't have to be the guy in the helmet all the time. They've given him more lines of dialogue this season. He's got
it's phenomenal.
More of a personality, and he's becoming more of a hero. So, and it will just be nice to see Pedro Pascal's face. He's a great actor. He's got a nice face.
Yeah.
More of a dad, too, to Yoda, which is nice.
Yeah, and he called him his pet.
Is it me, or is Yoda kind of bothering you guys right now? Baby Yoda's kind of bothering you guys right now?
What, are you going to try and cancel him?
No, I don't want to cancel him at all. No. No, not that at all. I just think he's getting too much in the way.
So you support genocide?
No.
Okay.
I just think he's getting too much in the way, where it's like that goofy sidekick that always gets in the way.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, he's a baby in Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly.
In that opening scene, just fumbling and bumbling and.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
he's 500 years old.
Well, a lot of the things that happened to him in this episode, he was just kicked into that thing.
Yeah,
he just punted him into a monster's mouth.
When you bring a baby,
okay, well, guy, you're eating spider eggs. Like, can you relax? You just had
hungry.
Frog eggs.
No, when he ate the spider eggs.
Oh yeah, he did eat spider eggs too. Yeah.
Mando doesn't feed him. He's a terrible father.
Okay.
You saw that bowl of chowder? That bowl of chowder was disgusting.
There?
Nice. Another Aliens reference. 2 weeks in a row referencing Aliens.
He's a baby that's going on these super high risk, dangerous missions. Obviously, he's going to get in the way. He's not supposed to be.
He's not in his bag this season.
He's not using no powers either, man.
Yeah, he's having a sophomore slump.
He is.
Yeah. He's afraid to go back to the Force.
He had a big rookie season.
Yeah, great. I mean, first episode, right? No, second episode. He was holding the rhino in place and shit. Now he's just trying to kill people. No, I love him. I think he's adorable. But like Aaron said, he's a baby.
Yeah, to some extent.
There's no hyperdrive. What do you mean?
He's a literal baby.
He's 500 years old.
50.
500.
50.
No, isn't he 500 years old?
He's 50.
It's 50.
Oh, 50, same thing. 50.
Yeah, right. Same thing.
50 and 500, yeah. When he's 500, he'll look like he's 50.
Okay.
You know how Yoda ages. I hope they give him dreadlocks. You ever see that fan art with Yoda and the dreadlocks?
No.
Absolutely killing it.
That's sick.
Yeah,
all right,
that look.
You know what I love too? Bo-Katan was like I know a little something about Jedis. I mean,
right,
she's with Jedis.
Yeah. She's got
well, yeah, that was the other big aha moment. It's Ahsoka Tano. And that's someone who, like I said, I haven't seen Clone Wars, but yeah, I know who that is.
Right,
so that's still a cool little moment for me, even though I'm not super into Clone Wars.
Yeah, right. It's like casual fans who are aware of these other iterations and these other types of media for the universe. That name rings a bell, and you've seen the character, you've seen the design. And even for people who don't know, it's just, oh, okay, this is a Jedi character that maybe has a history with Luke or some other Jedi that Mando's going to try and find, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. Jedi means lightsabers, and she's got 2 white ones. So, and that's the thing with Ahsoka is that even, after Rebels, they do make it a point where she is not a Jedi, that she doesn't.
That's what people are upset, right?
So it's like
in Rise of Skywalker, that she spoke at the end.
Right.
It's like she like despised the Jedi towards the end.
Well, I think with her speaking in Rise of Skywalker, it makes sense because Rey kind of becomes what she is with the yellow saber, where it's I'm not a Jedi, but I'm also not a bad guy. I'm kind of just vibing.
Yeah,
they're just living off of the Force.
Well, she's someone that it's interesting to see what her viewpoint is at this point, because obviously being, Anakin's Padawan and having that connection with him, seeing all the shit he went through and her eventual fallout with the Jedi. I wonder how, she know where Luke is? Does she have any care for him? Maybe she's like, oh, maybe
she has to.
She got the Jedi pump back after Luke took down 2 Death Stars. She's like,
what they do in Rebels, right?
I'm about to come back and shit.
Take back her crown. I know, and something happens in Rebels. Spoilers for Rebels, if you guys haven't seen it. That there's a cliffhanger where everyone thinks she had died, and then she comes back. And when she comes back, she saves Ezra, who is the main Force user in Rebels. He's the young Force user that she's kind of training and other people train. And she fights Darth Vader. And she has her final confrontation with Anakin. Anakin's mask kind of rips off, and it's half of Anakin's face. So that's cool. So that's the last time that I've seen her. So she comes back. Everyone thought she was dead. And the thing with Star Wars is that there's always just so much time in between what we actually see. So she could be anywhere. And they obviously gave us the planet location, but we don't know her feelings. That's what the point I'm getting to. Like you said, we don't know where she truly stands. And I can imagine that they're not... It's just typical with Mando. Every new person he meets, he has to fight them first, or square up with them, argue with them, and then they become buddies. Yeah, so we'll see how she helps him.
I wonder what her reaction to Yoda, Baby Yoda's going to be.
Well, that's going to be cool, because she's going to be the first one to say...
She knows who Yoda is, right?
Yes. Yeah. She's going to say, I've seen this before. This is not a Jedi. Technically, we don't even know what this is. That's the thing. Even at the Jedi, when the Jedi were in power, no one knew what Yoda was. Or maybe they did. It was just never, the answer was never given to us. So maybe we'll get one of those answers as well, where Baby Yoda comes from. But she's going to recognize him right away and be like, what the fuck?
That's going to be a sick moment to see another Jedi see the Baby Yoda and what he could be.
Well, I think it would be I think Luke is eventually going to be in this series. That would be just such an emotional moment for me, for Luke to see.
That'd be sick. A
Baby Yoda. Just remembering all the adult Yoda moments they had. But I'm also excited to see how she looks in the makeup.
Yeah, it's wondering. That's going to be a big kind of...
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be one of the more, like you talked about, from the animated series to live action. That's going to be a big one. It's easier to do a human to a human, no makeup and Mandalorian armor, but with all the makeup and trying to capture the look of Ahsoka from the animated series, that's going to be interesting.
And I know fans are going to be upset that they didn't get Ashley Eckstein, because they see Katie Sackhoff doing such a great job. Why not put Ashley Eckstein in that makeup? And then when you hear that voice, that would have been awesome. But Rosario Dawson's a great talent. So I'm excited to see Ahsoka next episode. But this episode, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, we didn't even mention. She directed episode 4 from the first season, the big battle sequence with Cara Dune when they're fighting the Walker.
Sick, yeah.
And I thought she did a great job. There were a lot of people were bringing up a lot of comparisons to Apollo 13, the shot of the ship coming in and burning in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So kind of stealing from her dad there. I guess it's not stealing if it's your dad. And like I said, it's the shortest episode of the season, and I think it's definitely the weakest episode. But the action sequences I really liked. I thought she did that was the best part of this episode. Those action sequences.
A lot of people just commending her on, I guess, capturing a lot of their characters they liked from Clone Wars and putting in all those different connections. So I think on that front she did good. I think it was a good episode. I compare it more to last week's than the premiere episode. But, I keep seeing it again, and a lot of people are not too big of a fan of the... I don't want to call them filler episodes, because that's kind of what the show is, but episodes that are basically detract from the main storyline, while also having some loose connections and slowly pushing it forward. But, that's what the show is, episode of the week, and I'm used to that since, I guess, episode 2 of last season. And I think we both said as long as they're entertaining, then there's no problem with that. And I think this is another entertaining episode. I don't need much. I see some stormtroopers, some Mandalorians fighting. I'm like, this is fucking cool.
I wonder if this is
a
show...
some ships coming in an atmosphere. I'm like, oh, this is pretty awesome.
I wonder if this show would serve better if they just dropped it all at once, though. Because of the fact that it's not filler, but it's episodes where we even talk about this with our reviews. There's not much to talk about. I mean, we can go scene to scene to scene. It's an action episode. Baby Yoda does some funny things. Mando has some funny lines. They mention the Jedi. Moff Gideon is in there.
Fried calamari's.
But there's right.
I think it would serve better if 2 and 3 were one episode. If they maybe lengthen them, but make them like as directors and producers, your filler episodes. So why not just combine them and make them one long episode?
But they're not filler though.
I know, yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're filler.
They're the adventure of the week.
Right.
And you might not necessarily like the adventure, or one adventure might not be as fun or as good as another one, but these are what most of these episodes are going to be until we get to the end where we saw last season. They kind of combined the storylines for the last 2 episodes.
Well, like you said,
I think that's what they're going to do again and going to continue to do for every season going forward.
but like you said, as long as they're entertaining, I have no problem with these filler episodes. But the first episode blew me away with all the production and the effects, and the story was actually really good too.
I've seen people like
And then-
kind of clowning on a lot of the effects now.
I think
Not
they
the
look
first
phenomenal.
episode, but this one.
They look like movies.
Well, I
in
think
particular.
it was just a given that eventually some of the episodes weren't going to look as good as others. It
Yeah.
happens all the time in anime, where the big fight episode is animated so much, it just looks so much better than the previous episodes.
But I didn't think anything was particularly like. I think like you said, the Apollo inspired scene looked great, and I like the puppets.
Yeah, I
They
love
don't
Yeah,
look-
me too.
They might not look real, but it's like that's Star
That's
Wars.
just what it is.
I always love a
It's
puppet
weird
in
with
Star
this like universe. I can forgive things like that. I can forgive corny dialogue because that's kind of what Star Wars is, and I think that's what Favreau. He's not afraid to. He doesn't shy away from a lot of those goofier aspects from that might have been more widely accepted in the 70s. Right? He kind of embraces that. It's like this is what Star Wars is, and I'm gonna stay true to that.
These
Yeah,
creatures
it's gotta-
do look good though. They don't look bad.
Right. There's
that frog, the family.
There's
they look
that
good.
one puppet in The Force Awakens who's just this giant puppet, and he's kind of just chilling there, and he's got like the hot assassin on his lap.
Yeah.
And it's just clearly not a real alien, but I just love the fact that it was in the movie because it reminded me of those original movies. And like you said, a lot of the times I don't even notice that it is a puppet. It's just a Mon Calamari. But yeah, none of the special effects stood out to me in a bad way this episode. Maybe it didn't look as pretty as the previous 2 episodes, but like I said, and I wonder with the runtimes as well, where they gave us that 52-minute runtime for the first episode, where the next couple of episodes are going to be 30 minutes.
I appreciate that too, though. A short episode that isn't pushing the story forward.
You're just a busy man, so you don't have much time to be sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no,
ever-
but
you
think
ever
about
notice
it.
it
If
just
you're
like
sitting there
shorter
for
episodes.
But if you're sitting there for an hour and there's nothing really happening, wouldn't that annoy you at all?
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to give me an hour, it's
You
going
make
to
it
be a
spectacular
completely
like the first one.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
it's going to
episode.
be a completely different episode. I do
Right.
like your idea, and I think that's why it adds to my point that if this was just dropped all 8 episodes and you're watching episode 2 into
Right.
3, maybe they're just better because you're just continuing the adventure. It doesn't matter if it's not pushing that Moff Gideon, Darksaber narrative, Baby Yoda narrative forward. It's just fun to watch.
Because
we saw Gideon this episode, so I mean he's obviously closing in on their trail, and he obviously plays a vital part in not only the Baby Yoda storyline, but even the storyline of Mandalore. He has the Darksaber, so obviously that's something that they want back, so they can take back the crown of Mandalore or whatever. but-
Yeah. Well, apparently the planet is still kind of chaotic.
yeah.
There's no clear rulers. So I guess she's stockpiling all these weapons, wants the saber
She's
as a
gonna
symbol.
roll up, put up the saber, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's queen."
She's queen, yeah.
they're setting up a big fight, man, that I can't wait to see for like one of the last episodes.
Well, that's the thing.
I can't wait for
when
that.
Moff Gideon has the dark saber, who's going to stand against him? It would be Ahsoka, right? Because Ahsoka's going to have her 2 sabers, and we're going to get some lightsaber action.
Things like that. I mean, obviously it wasn't super connected to the main storyline because that was that bit of a side, but that's going to come back into play by the end of the season or in a later season because we're going to see probably Din Djarin maybe team up with them to fight against Gideon and his kind of ragtag group of the remnants of the Empire. He's going to need help, and so they'll get these other pieces from other episodes and kind of, I don't know, because Cara Dune will come back, Grief Karga might come back, Timothy Oliphant's character might come back, so during the moment it might be, okay, what was the point of that, but when later on they're all fighting side by side, you're like, oh yeah, remember when they met in that first episode? That makes sense.
That's going to be very satisfying.
Yeah.
It always is. It's always fun to see characters come back.
And even next week, it'll probably be Ahsoka. They might have a little beef, or she might want him to go on this mission or something before they actually make any progress with anything. And it's going to be another little side quest, but here's Ahsoka now, and she's probably going to be useful with Baby Yoda's future or something they're going to do at the end. So
I kind of wish we
just
did.
picking up these little pieces. They're bundling up, and then at the end, they're like, here.
Right, yeah. With a show like this, I'm pretty sure they know. They come into it saying, how are we going to end this? Where does everybody end up? And then we'll put the characters off on their separate paths and make sure that everyone leads to this one confrontational moment. But this episode in particular, who I really enjoyed, Titus Welliver, who was also an actor who appeared on Deadwood, and he was also the title character in Bosch, so I'm sure he was recognizable to a lot of people, as the Imperial officer who bites into that electrical 5 gum.
Cyanide.
Yeah. So someone put it was like, what's the 5 gum saying?
How does it feel
so
to shoot
fresh.
5 gun?
It's so fresh something, yeah.
Yeah, and they put him in the commercial, and it's just mouth being electrocuted. He was good. I always like a nice, firm Imperial officer. Stern Imperial officer. Not firm. I didn't see his bottom. But
That one officer, I thought he got the drop on him.
that was actually very funny. We close the doors. Which ones? All of them. It's like, we've got them in the cargo control room.
Yeah.
The what? Stupid fucking stormtroopers, man.
Do you guys kind of wish that Bo-Katan kind of got into what she knows about the Jedi to Mando, so maybe he has some kind of story going into the planet he's going to?
How do you even explain that?
Yeah, a little
That's like
something,
explaining
maybe.
technology
seeing
to
is
somebody in the
believing.
19th century.
I guess.
It's like, here's a cell phone.
I guess I'm just saying that because I want to know. I want to know what she knows.
Yeah, right. Well, watch the Clone Wars.
I will.
I don't love
I
those.
started it. I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I fell asleep, and I never got back on it.
It's good and bad. It's inconsistent.
I just watch like the best clips on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. When it's good, it's really.
What you
it's
need
very
to know.
good.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
like,
can
I get
even
the
watch
gist.
like up until the point where Darth Maul starts to take over Mandalore, and you'll get a pretty good idea of a lot of these characters' histories. But yeah, no, we saw the Imperial officer communicating with Moff Gideon, and he's just so good at playing these evil guys.
Oh, he's the man, dude.
Long live the Empire.
He is so intimidating, and he plays those characters so good.
He is legit
He
playing the
sells that,
same
like-
character as he plays in The Boys. It's so funny. Just compromising all his morals to
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
right.
I'd keep rocking that too.
That man is just he's Mariano Rivera. He's got the 3 pitches, but
Sir,
he's
no
a
one can hit
fucking
it, yeah.
legend. Yeah, no one's hit it yet. Also, want to mention that Janina Gavankar made a cameo in this episode as the Mon Calamari who fixes the crest. So she was the lead character in the Battlefront 2 video game, which actually had a pretty good story. And her character also appears in a spin-off book that was also okay. So it was cool. Nice little nod to a Star Wars veteran. That was funny as well when he gets back in the ship. It's,
Oh,
all,
he's like,
it's all tied together with just
I give you
Duct tape.
$1,000.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
just gum and duct tape.
And
Little spit shine.
well, one of the Mandalorians was Sasha Banks too, the WWE wrestler.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. I always love when wrestlers make their transition to acting.
Yeah.
I always root for them because wrestling is just such a tough business, you know? They get screwed over. Want to see them get the Hollywood bag.
Is there any character in Mando so far that you guys want to see again? Like, fight with him?
Oh, Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, I'd like to see him come back.
Mine's
Oh,
Bill Burr. I want to see him go with Bill Burr again.
Yeah.
I think Bill Burr may be back this
I
season.
wonder how they bring back Grief Karga, Cara Dune. Because I think they are going to be in this season. So I wonder how they kind of get into the mix.
Yeah, they talked about that that we've seen all the trailer footage for these 3 episodes. So we have 5 episodes left where we really haven't seen any footage besides the moment where he meets with Grief Karga and Cara Dune.
Does Cara Dune have her own ship, or is she on that planet where they fought the Walkers? Is she still there?
No, I think she's with
She's
Oh no, she's with what the?
yeah, she's with Karga wherever they left off.
Right.
I guess she's just she's like his enforcer, I guess. He's he's one of my favorite supporting Star Wars characters ever.
Grief.
Yeah, he was the man in season 1. Just trying to make a buck.
He was funny as hell, man.
He's just so old.
He turns
school.
on you so quick, and he's back on your side in 2 seconds. The second he sees his way going, he's like, let's jump.
When he's trying to convince Mando to trust IG-11, and every time IG-11 did something cool, I love these IG-11 units. So it would be cool to see. I'm excited to see him back.
I thought for sure the droid was the one shooting those spiders. Meanwhile, it was the X-wing. I thought when the frog lady, I guess, turned it back on to talk to like.
Oh yeah. Me
I
too.
thought that
Me
was-
too.
For sure, that was the droid.
I said that on the review. I thought it was the droid. Well, we didn't even mention Frog Lady reunited with her husband.
Loved it.
That was very
I said,
sweet.
when I saw him.
Then they had the little babies. I thought Baby Yoda was going to try and eat it, even
So did
after
I.
they taught him to pet it. Just take it for the road.
He's probably pumped. He's like, oh, man, I thought we had like 20 of these things. I could do it. I could do 7.
Yeah.
I can raise 7 kids. They don't live in a big house either. Anyway, they're lucky. Baby Yoda snacked on a few of them.
Yeah. Maybe.
I wonder if the dad knew there was some missing.
I wonder if she was looking the other way. She noticed him doing it. Just
Oh, thank God.
how could you? Faints.
She scoped out that hot bath too.
She did. Yeah. No. That I could.
She was chilling.
That's with my back right now. I need one of those hot baths, man.
At least no heat.
Yeah, heat's actually bad for your back because it gets all the blood in that area. And your main problem is inflammation, so you should continue with the cold press.
All right, guys, that is the Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 11, the Heiress review, spoiler discussion. And we will be back next week, hopefully all three of us, if we have no complications.
That'd be nice.
Am I next?
Something's
something's going to happen to you.
Something
Yeah,
has to happen.
Just going to get struck by lightning.
I might do it to you.
Oh, my God.
No, not in that way. I mean, wait, what were you guys talking about?
Yeah, injuring him.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to take out my kneecaps.
I'd love to.
This is the way. Well, would you look at that? It's finally over. Hey guys, Beau Oliver here for one final send-off. Now, before I beg you guys to like and share this video, I'd like to thank our very special Patreon pledgers. We are very proud of the community we've been able to build here at NerdSoup, and it would not have been possible without our Patreon supporters. You guys are the true MVPs of this channel. Everything I've said, you keep the fridge full, you keep the lights on. There aren't enough words to thank you guys, but we'll do it anyway. Thank you. And we have a few videos coming up that have been suggested to us by Patreon pledgers. My Hero Academia, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and FULLMETAL Alchemist will be reviewed by Marissa, and yours truly, and CASTLEVANIA, which will be reviewed by Marissa and Aaron. And if you'd like to consider donating to our Patreon page, you can visit patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out some of the rewards we offer to our listeners. And really, we'd like to thank everyone who takes the time out of their day to watch our videos. Patreon pledger or not, your support is what keeps us motivated to keep giving the world our opinions on movies and TV shows and video games and pop culture, even though no one asked for it. We're still here, we're still yapping, and we hope you continue to join us. I'm Beau Oliver, and I support this message.